Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news all right. Folks, buckle up because today's NFL buzz is nothing short of explosive. Rumors are swirling around a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the NFC West's landscape. Specifically, the Seattle Seahawks could be making a bold move by adding Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. Yes, you heard that right. The Seahawks, currently sitting comfortably at 10-3, are looking to elevate their offense even further, and insiders suggest that Higgins might be on their radar as a key piece to push this team towards Super Bowl glory. Now I know what you're thinking. T. Higgins? That guy's a monster. And you're spot on. Higgins, who's just 26 years old, has been making waves in Cincinnati with his incredible contested catch ability and knack for turning big plays into touchdowns. Over the current season, he's amassed 72 receptions for 912 yards, averaging nearly 77 yards per game with 7 touchdowns. That's a guy who can stretch the field, make clutch catches, and become a nightmare for defenses. His 7 yards per catch and 112 targets show he's a focal point of the Bengals' offense. Plus, he's got a career total of over 800 receiving yards and more than 35 touchdowns, all while maintaining a solid PFF grade of 87.9 this season, ranking him among the top wideouts in the league. But what makes Higgins such a perfect fit for the Seahawks? First, his size and contested catchability. He's a red zone weapon comparable to Mike Evans, particularly when it comes to snagging contested passes. His catch rate in tight coverage is around 68%, which is elite, and he elevates the EPA, expected points added, per target by about 17%. That's huge when you consider how much Seattle needs a reliable chain mover and red zone threat. Adding Higgins would give Geno Smith an even more dangerous passing attack, especially in those critical scoring situations. His YAC, yards after catch, is impressive at 7.2 yards, meaning he's not just a jump ball guy. He can create yards after catching, making him a versatile threat all over the field. Now, why would the Bengals part ways with Higgins? Well, sources indicate that Cincinnati might be tanking, making strategic moves to clear cap space. About $7.8 million, so they can rebuild their roster. They're also looking to acquire picks and young players, especially on their offensive line, which has struggled at times this season. Cincinnati's current record of 4-9 and their 31. 8 points allowed per game show they're in a rebuild mode, focusing on future assets rather than immediate success. Sending Higgins away and freeing up cap space could be part of a broader plan to reload and come back stronger next year. On the Seahawks side, this move makes a ton of sense. They're already rolling with a talented core, including DK Metcalf, who's been having a breakout season himself, and Tyler Lockett, who's still reliable in clutch moments. But adding Higgins would be like injecting pure dynamite into their offense. With his ability to generate over 1-0 receiving yards, boost EPA per target by 19%, and improve red zone efficiency, Seattle's offense would become even more explosive. Imagine Higgins lining up across from DK with Lockett in the slot. Defenses would have a nightmare trying to cover all three. And considering that the Seahawks are averaging about 4 points per game, Higgins could push that number even higher, especially in critical matchups late in the season and in the playoffs. The trade, if it happens, could also be a strategic move to manage the Seahawks' cap space effectively. They currently have around $2 million to work with for the rest of the season, which they could allocate to acquire a player of Higgins' caliber without sacrificing too much of their flexibility. This move would not only help them in the short term, but also send a message to the rest of the league that Seattle is all in this year, chasing a deep playoff run and possibly a Super Bowl appearance. Looking at the bigger picture, Higgins could be a true X-factor in the Seahawks' quest for a Super Bowl. His presence would elevate their chances significantly, especially considering the explosive potential he brings to the offense. The Seahawks already boast a potent attack, but adding a receiver with Higgins' skill set, who can dominate contested catches, create yards after the catch, and thrive in clutch moments, could be the final piece of the puzzle. With Geno Smith at the helm, the Seahawks are already a threat, but with Higgins, they become downright dangerous. And let's not forget, the NFC is wide open this year. Teams like the 49ers, Eagles, and Cowboys are formidable, but there's always room for a team that gets hot at the right time. Seattle's defense has been improving, and if they can add offensive firepower like Higgins, they could be one of the favorites heading into the playoffs. The potential combination of Metcalf, Lockett, and Higgins could create mismatches all over the field, forcing defenses to double-team, which opens up even more opportunities for Geno and the running game. From a strategic perspective, this move could also be viewed as a sign that the Seahawks are willing to go all in. They've built a solid foundation with young stars and veteran leadership, but adding a player like Higgins demonstrates their ambition. It's reminiscent of some of the great Seahawks teams in the past, where they made daring moves to push over the top and chase that elusive Super Bowl title. With just a handful of games remaining in the regular season, it's all about closing strong, and acquiring a talent like Higgins could be the spark that propels Seattle deep into January. Of course, there are questions. Will Cincinnati really trade Higgins? They might ask for a hefty price, perhaps a high draft pick or a promising young player, which the Seahawks are more than willing to consider if it means boosting their Super Bowl chances. The timing is also critical. If the Bengals are indeed in a rebuilding phase, they might be more open to trading Higgins sooner rather than later, especially with the trade deadline approaching or in the offseason. In the end, whether it's a move that materializes or remains just a rumor, the mere possibility has Seahawks fans buzzing. It's a reminder that the NFL is a constantly evolving league, and teams like Seattle are always looking for ways to upgrade their roster, especially when the stakes are high. Higgins could be the kind of player who makes a difference in big moments, a true game changer, and possibly a cornerstone for the Seahawks' future Super Bowl runs. Now I want to hear from you, Seahawks fans. What do you think about this potential trade? Would Higgins be the perfect fit to push Seattle over the edge? Do you believe the Seahawks should make a move for him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come. Go Hawks!